All right, everybody. I was going to do cars and coffee this morning, but it's a little overcast, and so I decided to stay and maybe get something done. Haven't been getting too much progress on here, but it's all whittling, cleaning stuff up, putting it back in. I've got the engine harness cleaned up and back in the car. It's all strapped up, hopefully, ready for the engine to go in. I got to tie back some of that stuff right there. I got this brake line back in, and I've noticed right in here there's a little kink in here, so I'm gonna have to unfortunately pull that back out and replace that. I don't trust that to not be a problem in the future, especially this is where all the crash damage happened, so rolled this over and mashed this down and broke these stands off of over here. Got the steering wheel, excuse me, the steering rack cleaned up and put that back in. The all-important window washer fluid container, which is nice. I'm starting to clean up and put back the suspension components. Everything looks like it's in good order. All the rubber grommets and so forth are pretty decent. No wear and tear on those. They don't have that many miles on them compared. Still working on the engine. A little bit here, a little bit there. Taking this and that off. Got this side off. The motor mounts off this side over here. Try to clean those up. This side of the engine took the most of the brunt from the fire extinguishing material. You can see from the old engine cradle what was going on over here. But it's cleaning up pretty good. Took a lot of pictures putting in the stuff back. I saw this mystery wire and I couldn't imagine where it was because it wasn't in the wire loom. It sent me crazy until I realized it was still hanging off the back of the motor. Duh. Over here you can see what I'm starting out with. This is the left side of the car, which is relatively clean for the suspension components. But while I got it all off, might as well do a little spruce them up. Did a little media blasting, cleaned them up. Cleaned up all the brackets, took off all the hoses, the rotors. So it's not looking too bad. There's a little engine paint on there. Hopefully that won't peel off. It shouldn't. I'll paint up all the bolts, bracketry. Got a little deal out here. When you put drop springs in, a lot of people don't realize you've got to compensate for the camber angle. So SPC makes these adjustable universal front A-arms. Got a little device like this that goes in here, ball joint assembly, and you adjust the camber after you get this whole thing on the car. But in the meantime, this is the stock A-arm from the right hand side of the car. So I just made up a quick thing where you can run the bolts through this block here and this block here and hold it in place, and then drill a hole here. The ball joint just sets in there. What that does is it gets you the right rotation. You can see this has got a block that'll orient the ball joint beneath, depending on which way, how many degrees of caster you need. So in order to preset the caster angle, I just dump this in the hole and rotate it till it fits into this slot in the correct orientation. And that way I only have to deal with the camber angle once it's in the car. Setting on the ground with the springs settled. I also got the lowering Sportline kit. I hope it's not too low, but it shouldn't be. I mean, I lowered the SRT8 down another inch and a half from what it was at stock, and this one is really a high sitting car. So these are the Eibach springs. I'm going to go all the way around with these. Obviously, that's a little bit of a job. Spring compressors. They're kind of dangerous and they're kind of scary. My biggest coup of the week, though, is Cleveland Power and Performance. As you know, is pretty big with palletizing engines and drivetrains for out of Challengers, Hellcats, actually all performance cars that they take in, and then they palletize the motor and they turnkey it so that you can put it in your hot rod or whatever transplant. So they've got lots of stuff left over for some of these wrecks, and lo and behold, they had a complete dash unit on eBay for sale, and I jumped on it, and I was very fortunate because this piece, the dash pad alone, as I was saying in previous videos, which I'll show you that in a minute because I haven't got that thing unwrapped yet. No, it's not in here. There's the dash pad. This piece here, it's plastic and foam and vinyl padding. That piece is a MSRP listed at $1,900. Of course, you can get it on the internet for about $1,300, but that's still pretty pricey. And of course, it gets destroyed when you blow the airbags. And these airbags are blown, obviously. And then this is the subframe, which this subframe, the metal frame, is not even available to buy to any place that I've checked. I guess they figure if you're down to that, you've really got nothing left to rebuild, because that's pretty internal to the car. Anyway, that piece is included in this dash pad, and also included are 2 airbags, which solves a dilemma that I was going to have with the airbags. So you can get the airbags replaced by the dealership for free, but because they're a recall item, even though the car's crashed, they will replace the bags. Unfortunately, they will charge you to replace or rebuild the SRS module and then the clock spring, which is in the steering column. This can be done online. There's a company that'll take care of this. You could get this out, and there's a company that'll basically rebuild this, put a new fusible link in it, and reset it for about $40. And the same outfit will rebuild the belts. There's a little explosive charge in the belt that goes off, and now then the ratchet doesn't work properly. So you can get the belts replaced rebuilt, and get this rebuilt and reset for about $100. So that's a good deal. My big issue was if I took it to the dealer, they were going to have to disassemble this whole mess to this stage. I can't imagine what the labor costs would be just to get to this module. This is still trapped, by the way. I have to still take off the shifter module and maybe even loosen this air conditioning unit to get this rubber mat up off there to even see how this thing is bolted down. And this little fixture here, which is pretty secure, but you can imagine taking a completed car into the dealer and they're going to have to rip all of this stuff out just to get that module out. Unless they've got some kind of special trick, which I don't know. You can't access it from the bottom side. There's a mat and a transmission in your way. So somewhere along the line, you got to get down to this level in order to free that unit up to either replace it or rebuild it. So, like I said, they'll replace the bags for free, but I can't imagine what the labor cost would be for taking the dashboard and everything out to this level just to get that module out. So, like I said, Cleveland Power and Performance got this piece for about $600 shipped. It's about $460. And you can see what a great job they did crating it up, make sure that everything came intact. I pulled off some of this wrap and peeked in. It's in good shape. So we got stickers all over it to tell you not to accept it if it's damaged in any way. But they have lots of stuff left over if you're rebuilding one of these cars from some of their primary business is the engines and putting them on pallets and sorting through the wiring harnesses and so forth, just to give you a plug-and-play situation if you want to do your own hot rods. Sounds like an ad for them, but I'm pretty pleased with my ability to get a hold of this, and that's why I'll be able to install the airbags and the module, get the system actually operating, even though these bags are probably have to be changed out also. At least the whole system would be intact, and they'll just take it into the dealer and he'll replace the 2 bags for free because they have them in stock for the recall. That's about it. Thanks.